Hey folks, welcome to the recap sequence. We're back in the basement
Yep.
with our biggest event ever. We've
This
got
is this is cool. Well,
we've got two guests on
yep.
simultaneously, so this will be a test of our management skills.
And and we've been working on this probably since about mid-January,
Yeah,
when we were given the, hey, guess what's happening here by one of our guests. And at that point, it was like, okay, let's try and coordinate all of this. And well, we've got two of them here with us right now.
yeah. And look, before we get started, you had mentioned something about us somehow managing to where we do have a wardrobe variety that we try not to always dress alike, but it's been happening now like
For the last three recordings.
as an epidemic now. We don't coordinate this in advance. It just happens. So I hope you enjoy blue today because that's the theme. Uh, anyway, the more important stuff is we got two great guests on today, of folks that we've met, in our fortuitous travels around the con scene, and we're able to talk about something pretty exciting, a big project under a group called GY6 Studios. We've got Justin Steeves and Hal Hilden, both writers on an upcoming book that has a ongoing Kickstarter campaign that we'll give you all the info about on how to support
Mhm.
as we go. So welcome to the show, Justin and Hal.
Hey
Thank you very
guys.
much. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having us.
Oh, thanks for joining us here. I mean,
This is a treat.
this is the second time. See, we kind of opened up Pandora's box. We got called out by Hal
Oh yeah,
way back when, and then Justin had the fortuitiveness
yeah.
to allow him into Freddy Beach back in August, and well, it's just spun out of control from there.
It was a mistake waiting to happen.
Well, we've fully committed down the rabbit hole here, and we finally got Hal on the show, and we'll see how it goes. I think we'll all be better off for it.
So, guys, got your six.
Yeah.
Tell us about this. How did this collaborative effort come together with you guys?
Funny story. So back at Freddy Beach, yeah, it was back at Freddy Beach, wasn't it? The very first one that we did, Hal. So I
Yep.
went up to Hal and I was like, hey guys, hey man, like, I have this crazy idea for a story. And Hal came up and he's like, well, I have this idea for a story. And I was like, okay, so Hal's the one that mentioned it. He's like, why don't we bring them together? So that's what we did is we brought our stories together to make this one. Hal, you want to elaborate on that a bit?
It was surreal. Actually, I still have to look up what fortuitous is.
It'll be in the show notes.
Okay.
On the ticker.
Yeah, we'll have a glossary.
I'm still trying to figure that out. Yeah. So Justin said, "Listen, I got this idea of a comic," and I said, "Well, I do too." And of course, I start talking before he does because I always interrupt people. And he's sitting there, he's kind of like in awe, and he's like, "Dude, I've got like almost the exact same story." And that's kind of just how it started, and it just the ball just started rolling. It was unreal how quick it got started, eh, Justin?
Yeah, it was. It took us a while to hammer out the script, and because it's a multi-issue series, so we're constantly adding it. But because of my regular job, I was able to help out with more of the militarisms in the story and stuff like that. A lot of people don't know, but I've got deployments to Afghanistan. I've been to Kuwait, so I've kind of been all over the world. So when we started talking about bringing this together, it just kind of flowed, and it all flowed together once we got going.
So this goes back. So Freddy Beach was back in August, and you start putting this together. How do you guys both as
Sorry, Ryan. I'm
Yeah.
gonna cut. This
Go for
actually
it.
collaboration started back in November 2022.
So
Really,
this
the
is
first-
Freddy Beach Classic. So this is like
Wow.
the very first one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Amazing.
we've been working on this for a while to make sure we had it right. So this has been it's been over a year we've been working on this, Hal?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we want to tell a story that's different in the sense that it's going to be like it's military themed, of course,
Mhm.
but we want to touch on PTSD because like 10% of people that are soldiers suffer from it even today, and it's something that's not really touched on a whole lot in comics since I don't think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of inserted that into our story, but we want to insert it with respect. Because when I started doing research, I thought people with post-traumatic stress disorder, they were broken people. Well, they weren't broken. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain, Justin. You know what I mean, though?
You know what? Like, I'm pretty open about this now. It was very hard for me going through. So I was diagnosed with PTSD from my tour in Afghanistan back in 2017. So this book kind of hits home for us. I've learned to deal with it. It'll never fully be gone. You know, I always have my triggers and everything like that. But we wanted to bring this story so that people understand and realize they're not alone. Okay, so that no matter what happens, you know, you're not alone, whether you're a first responder, whether you're military, whether you're just somebody that had a traumatic event happen to you. And as the story progresses into issues 2, 3, and 4, there's going to be a lot more covers and highlights of different scenarios and different circumstances. And there will be points and little key fits through issues 2, 3, and 4 that'll allow people to understand different help that they can get, where they can go to, you know, who they can talk to, because when it comes to PTSD, people are never alone in this.
That's excellent. So how in terms of like the writing process between you guys, how did this work? Did you basically divvy up, or Justin, you said obviously you used it from your military experience. Can you explain how your guys' writing process worked?
Want me to start?
Yeah, you
we kind of decided on what we were going to do for a script, and then from there, I did the script out. We did our first draft. Justin looked at it. He saw things that he liked. He saw things that weren't quite right. But the military aspects, when a person that's in the military, whether it's Canadian or U.S. forces, when they read our script, Justin's dialogue is spot. It's military. It's jargon. It's military jargon. So when someone reads our cover, they're going to say, one of these guys knows what they're talking about. And of course, it's going to be Justin, because I have no clue what I'm talking about. And yeah, that's how that kind of happened. Justin threw ideas at me. I threw ideas at Justin. You know what? He's really easy to write with. He is. He's an. If I can write comics for the rest of my life, co-write with Justin, I'd be happier than a fat kid eating candy. I was going to say it. I'm doing good. Yeah. So yeah, Justin threw some ideas my way. I had some military weapons and stuff, and Justin's like, no. They used this at that time. They did this at that time. They had this weapon on the top of the truck, and phenomenal. He's just like a treasure chest of information. It's unreal.
So sorry, I just, when you guys were planning this out, then had you anticipated wanting to do 4 issues, or was it you've realized that there's so much material that you want to get out there, so we say, okay, we spread it out over 4 issues?
I kind of wanted it to be at least 3 issues, but Justin and I talked, and we can make it a 4-issue thing, no problem. And by being a 4-issue series too, that would work out good if we do a trade down the road.
Oh,
as well.
nice,
Right.
Yeah.
How does that work? Then you talk about having the you have the expertise, the military jargon. How does that translate to the artists then? So you've got a talented crew of folks that are actually doing the artwork for this. So what kind of consultation do they have when it comes to kind of putting this into pictures?
So when I was providing images, I was providing a lot of background, kind of explaining, this is what this weapon system looks like, and then I would get a picture of it and I would show them, right? Or this is kind of what I'm envisioning, because this is kind of what the camp looked like when we were overseas. Can you make this kind of look like this? When it came to insides of tents, I'm like, no, that color's not right. Like, this is how it would have looked inside the tent when we were overseas, and things like that. So it was a lot of back and forth between the artists, but Sebastian was amazing. and Brianna's colors on this were amazing. So a lot of back and forth, and then I, I had to get talked to a couple times because in the military we use a lot of acronyms. So it was like, I wanted to use acronyms, and I'm just sitting there like, if a military person reads this, they're going to understand what this is. It's hands down. But not everybody's going to understand what it is. You know what I mean? So trying to put things long form and stuff was a little more challenging for me because I'm a signals operator. So my whole job is talking on radios, ensuring that we have communications and stuff like that. So the militarisms when it comes to talking is a big thing for me. So just collaborating with the artists, making sure they had the proper tools that they needed, whether it was images from pictures I had or something like that, to be like, no, the buckles on their tactical vests kind of look like this, the helmets look like this, just different things like that.
That's really cool, because I like the fact that you're bringing this insight from your experience to the pages there. So I mean, it comes off, it's real, right?
Yeah.
Like what we're going to be reading and seeing there is straight from you, and that's incredible.
Well, and two, I mean, we're getting a representation of military that we don't typically see in comic books. Typically, especially when you get action, the military kind of comes in as this machine, and there's, you're not really thinking about that, and a lot of things get over designed in comics, and I love that you're able to come at this with like a very real and genuine perspective. So I'm excited to see what's coming, and it's been great to see through your Facebook feed the covers and some of the artwork. It's absolutely awesome.
So how did you guys, when did the artists come in? Because first of all, Sebastian Roy and Brianna Ormond,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I mean, I'm shocked that you got Brianne after, you had her sitting next to Hal at Freddy Beach.
She agreed to come back. Yeah,
You can just go listen to that previous in our archives there. But I mean, how did you guys decide on them, and when do the artists actually come into this with your process?
I'm just going to speak before Justin does. Everything went to Justin. Like, we did the story. I said, I had it. There's an artist that I kind of wanted to get at first, but he's got a bunch of projects already on the go. And right away, Justin said, "What about Sebastian?" I said, "Yeah, like, beautiful." But everyone, like the artist, the colorist, even the letterer. I mean, Justin did it all. Anyway, off to you, Justin.
Yeah, when it comes to all this stuff, especially like the different covers and everything involved, I mean, you guys know me. You guys know me for a while. I have a lot of friends in the industry. So reaching out to Sebastian, we wanted to kind of have that local talent showcased in this as much as possible for part of GY6 Studios. One of the things that we want to do is help showcase a lot more East Coast talent to the world, and that's what we're trying to build. So bringing Brianna in, Sebastian, Brianna hates me at times because she is so busy. She's got a regular job, and then like right now, I think in the last 2 weeks I've had her color 12 different pages for a different book that we wrote. So it's and Chris, who did the letters on this, he's still fairly new, but he's amazing. He's been getting a lot of mentorship from other people and stuff, and Chris is going to be lettering, I would dare say, everything we do.
So for going forward for issues 2, 3, and 4, it's Sebastian, Brianna, and Chris. Okay,
we're not changing. We will not change the creative team on any book we do unless it is absolutely necessary.
It's interesting because Jamie and I both know Sebastian from work, and I happened to run into him a couple of weeks ago, and he's actually going to be coming on our show as well, because we're going to talk to him about working with you guys. And he had actually said to me how much fun he's having working on the book, because he'll go home and he's the type of artist who likes to sit there and do it by hand. not have to sit in
Yeah.
front of the computer and do it. And he says he gets so much, he'll go in there and before he knows it, it's 2-3 hours and away he goes doing all of these pages for you guys. And he's having an absolute blast.
Wow.
We couldn't have picked a better
No.
artist, really. Like, he's perfect for this. His art is just A1. I love it. He's great.
Right? Like I have all the original pages right here in front of me from
Amazing.
issue 1.
Now, if you're listening to this on a podcast or the radio, go check out the YouTube page because that's some incredible art.
Yeah, and again, Ryan and I have a bit of a different connection with Seb from our real work jobs, and so and I've known him for years as well, and just to watch him kind of do this, I won't say on the side. It's always been a passion of his. He's been at more cons than Ryan and I, and he's always there. He's always there. He's always working hard. He's always at his table. He's got his head down, and he just loves doing it. That's the thing that I've gotten to know about Seb is he just loves doing it. So it's amazing to see him get this opportunity to work with a talented team like this.
It was really cool. Like, not only when I got the original art back, he gave me back the original copy of the script that was handed to him. Right?
Oh, nice,
amazing.
But but what's neat about this is when you go through the pages, Seb, when he's trying to figure things out, he writes on the pages, he draws on the pages of the script, trying to get his stuff out because he's reading it and he's drawing it all out, right? Like on the back of the script, everything.
Wow.
So throughout the whole script, I've gone through, like here's another page where he's just like trying to figure out what these people are going to look like, how they're going to do. So based on the script. So, that's something else that we love about Seb doing the work is he's actually taking the time to figure how everything is going to be perfect for him.
Well, I mean, I looking at that, I wish you the most success in that. I'd love to see that in the hardcover omnibus of GY6 at some point, as some of the extras that you get to include in there. So, and being able, it's great that you're showing us this to get to see some of this process too. So
yeah, because we do not see the behind the scenes stuff with the comic creators and what they do, and I think that's excellent. So I'm curious your guys' reaction when you saw that first final print come to you there, and you're holding the issue number 1 in your hands. I mean, Hal, there it is.
It was a PDF. They had it in a Dropbox or Sky or wherever they put stuff. I don't know. I'm not computer literate, but Justin didn't give me access to it because my mutant power is getting on computers and making computers explode. I can do Facebook, I can do my email, and that's about it.
That's debatable.
Justin gave me an email to our webpage, and I forgot my password. I can't even check my email. Justin just shakes his head. He's like, "You're better off not even." I will let you guys know too. I'll give you guys we'll autograph a script for you guys as well.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
Wow,
I
thank
would
you.
love that.
When Justin's probably the same as me now. Whenever I do a script and my paneling and stuff, I always tell my artists, if you can make this panel or page look better, do it, man. I've got no ego. If I had a page set up and I want it this way, but Seb gets it and he says, "Man, it would look. I see it this way instead." Do it, brother, man. We got no egos. Like, I'm not going to say I wanted it done that way unless it's something like really vital.
Right.
Otherwise, man, Seb, spread your wings, dude. Do your magic. Whatever you can do, brother.
I love that fact though as well, that you're listening to the collaborative effort and it's just a back and forth and everybody's open to the suggestions or the choices that are coming out, and in the end, I mean, you've got the final product right there.
Yeah, and oh, go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, sorry. Like for me is I can barely draw a hand turkey. So for me,
Right.
for me to go in and tell an artist how to do their job, that I'm never going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I don't know the next thing about drawing. But when they present pages to me and I'm looking at it and I go, yeah, this makes sense to me. It's fine. As long as you know what I mean. There may be the odd thing that we'll ask to change, but very rarely, Hal?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a crier. Like I can watch like TV shows and I cry. I'll watch a commercial and I can cry. My wife knows because I'll turn the light off in our living room. She's like, "Oh, Dad's tearing up. Don't talk to him, Haley." But when I saw those final pages, like it's just, oh man, just tears streaming down my face. It's, to see something that I wrote created by other creators and they do their magic.
Mhm.
It's surreal. I got goosebumps even just talking about it.
That's amazing.
And that's the
It
fun
really
part
is.
is, you know, to be
Oh,
able to
yeah.
hear these experiences from
Yeah.
you guys. And, you know, I'm like super excited because I mean, here we go, you know.
I, I liken it like a creative team like this to a really good band that works together. I mean, like for me, I'm like Justin. I couldn't draw a stick version of me to save my life, but to hear musicians come together, for example, without the ego, and that's a really hard thing to come across in music. But people that just let people do their thing, and you're all better off for it because everybody on the team, you know, feels that they've been able to put their 100% into it. So there's no doubt that that's what's going on here, and it's so great to hear how excited you guys get to see what somebody does with like your thoughts and words, right? Like to see that come out in images and complete that storytelling that you're such a big part of. You know, the comic creator universe. To see it all happen, and for us as folks that are you know kind of you know get to float around and experience this sort of vicariously through folks like you. This is great to get to hear about the process because when we go, it's a different experience when we go to a con and we see these very same people doing their thing, selling their wares at their table, working very hard at doing that. This is a very different thing for us, and we've been with you guys since the November Freddy Beach as well. So you know, in a way, we feel like we get to enjoy some of this voyage. So it's so awesome to get a chance to hear this part of it and to see these things that you know Justin's holding up. I love you know notes and doodles and all that
Well,
extra stuff, right?
This is actually the original painting
Oh,
for
wow.
Craig Nichols' cover,
Oh wow.
Wow.
right?
Let's I mean, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
So you guys, the writer, Sebastian, the artist, and Brianna, the colorist, and so forth, and then you launched this on Kickstarter, and this part that caught me, and I was like, oh my God, this is cool. And then all of a sudden I was going to give way more money than I probably should have. You get options. James Dickinson, Dixon covered, Sebastian Roy cover, Craig Nickel cover, Andrew Clark cover, Hugh Rookwood, and Mike Ruth covers. I mean, this is like super, super cool.
Yeah, I mean,
That's you, Justin. Yeah.
yeah. So, I'm a big fan of art. You know, like when it comes to books, you normally see each book has different covers or different variants or and things like that. So by having choice, you know, just because some people are maybe like, you know, this book is awesome, but I really want to collect the Mike Ruth cover, or oh, I really like the depiction of how Craig Nickel brought out the PTSD in his image, or Andrew Clark. You know, if you give people variety, then they may choose a different way to go. You know, it could be the difference of somebody backing and somebody not, you know, having different options. But you know, the Kickstarter thing, Hal and I, we discussed back and forth because this is the first time we've ever done a Kickstarter. We didn't have a generic goal in mind. So you know, some people go on Kickstarters and it's like $3,000, or you know, those are hard to hit, especially for new creators and stuff that nobody knows who you are. Like me, for example, with this whole GY6, we're trying to grow it, so we kept it low. The book is going to print, no matter what. The book is going to print. This is going to help us offset some of those printing costs. So the only thing that may not be will be like we have a special incentive for metal covers for Hugh and Mike. If those goals aren't met, those will not be printed, right? Because that's like basically a special Kickstarter thing
right.
that we're doing. but having choices for people is a big key when it comes to doing different books and stuff like this. For me, anyways. I don't know, Hal. Do you have anything to add on that?
The whole thing about covers, a little quick funny story about that though. After Justin got all these artists to do the covers, all of a sudden, out of the blue, Sebastian hands Justin a cover as well. And we didn't like Justin didn't want to give him the extra work. Justin said, listen, he's doing the interiors. But out of the blue, Seb went out of his way and did a friggin' awesome cover as well. So it's amazing. This whole Kickstarter thing, it's new to me as well.
Yeah.
I think I paid money to Kickstarter once about 6 years ago, and I never got what I paid for. So
I did have that experience with an Indiegogo once. I supported a Star Trek project, and then Star Trek Paramount put the kibosh on it, so I didn't get my
And kept your money.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a rates thing. But
I should mention though, Justin, because you pointed this out to me. So I have backed you guys on this Kickstarter campaign, and I went through and. Justin, thank you for pointing this out. And maybe you want to elaborate a bit on this. Is when you pledge for it, that there are certain areas you can indicate, like if you're local. So, like here in Fredericton, instead of having it shipped, I can meet you somewhere and
Sure.
pick it up or get it local, basically, right?
Yeah. So what we've gone ahead and done was originally, because I like I said, I didn't know how to set it up, but then after I started talking to people, I went back in like within a few hours probably, or the same day, and updated it so that you can do local pickup. So, if you're in the Fredericton area and you want, like, I mean, I have no problem delivering it to you. Or if it's in St. John, yeah, sorry, Hal, I kind of threw you under the bus on that one. But if you're in St. John, but then also, we have multiple shows that we are booked at with GY6 Studios on the East Coast for 2024. So if you don't want to pay for shipping, but you're not in one of those areas, but you're going to be at one of these shows, go ahead. We will mark it off and we will bring your order with us, right? So that we'll bring it to the show and you can pick it up at that show.
And if people are listening to this and they want to back it and they want to pick them up, the shows you guys are going to... Now, when you say the shows you're going to be at, will that be both of you at the same table or one representing GY6 at a time?
We will be at every show together, Hal and I.
Awesome. So that's
times, yes.
Yeah, Miracon in Miramichi on May 18th, Capercon in Sydney, Nova Scotia on May 24th through to the 26th, YCon in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia on May 31st through to June 2nd, and then East Coast Comic Expo in Moncton from June 7th and 8th.
Yes, yeah, those are it for the East Coast for now.
I'm just curious then, with the other artists that you guys had that did the special covers for you, will they have some, if they're at different shows themselves opposite you guys, that they're able to sell those books? Like if someone's in Niagara Falls, let's say, and Spitball and Mike Ruth is there, will he have covers of his there?
Absolutely.
Wow, that's awesome.
How long? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Jamie.
I was just going to say, how long does the Kickstarter campaign go on for? How are things going, and where are we at with it?
I believe it ends on March 19th. Like we've already met our goal. Like I said, our goal was really small, so I wasn't really concerned about it. I believe I'm sending books to print in 2 weeks once everything is ready. We have the fulfillment. Like if you buy and you want to ship, we have it in May. It will be done well before that. Is my goal. Sorry.
Right.
I always, one thing that I've always done with the military is you always have that what if factor, right? So there's delays, there's things like that on print, whatever, right? So I figured by me giving an extra month would be more than enough time, right? So, but I'm hoping to have everything printed in hand pretty close to when the Kickstarter ends. So the only thing that may not be is if we do end up hitting some stretch goals, I may have to wait on some stretch goals to come in, right? So
which is not a bad thing, hit your stretch goals. That's great. All I have to say, you've met your fundraising target, but it doesn't mean you guys can't keep
No, you can't exactly.
helping them fundraise.
I
You know,
mean,
this is great. It's great to hit the goal, but
Yeah.
having stretch goals is I wouldn't know how to even determine what a stretch goal would be. So did you find that part hard, like coming out with it, like incentives?
Yeah, I went back to Kickstarters I've backed or what I've seen and some cool things, like we're gonna have, some of your generic stickers, some stuff like that. Some bookmarks. I'm hoping to have some coasters, like some GY6
Oh,
Studios
nice.
coasters.
Nice.
And one thing that I do have that we haven't put out there is metal trading cards of characters from our book.
Wow.
Is going to
Hey.
be, so you can get like a set of 5 character metal trading cards.
Wow. Okay.
That is
That
cool.
sounds really, really cool too. What like beyond the 4 issue run of this particular book, any thoughts now? I know you were like, well, let's do 3. I think we can do it in 4. Is there a volume 2? Like, do you have plans to continue along with this particular storyline,
I mean, let's
or
be honest, Justin. Do you really want to work with Hal again? And I mean,
Yeah.
Hal, do you really want to work with Justin
what we're
again?
really getting at? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
No comment.
you want to know what's fun, guys? Is we haven't quite decided how we're going to proceed with it after this series. I don't think, unless Hal knows something I don't.
I've
But
got a character that it's not going to be the main character. I got a character I'm going to introduce, but it's a really, 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 I think, really cool concept. And I'm thinking we may even take some of the characters from this story and then use them. Like JJ, this might be the end of JJ's story. Our main character, JJ Long. This, if he survives at the end,
who knows?
his story might be done.
Right.
But there's other characters like Justin thought of, and Justin said we can maybe do this and branch off and do a story about this and this. And I kind of like the military theme stuff.
It's different. You don't get a lot of that out there. So we're talking right now with you guys. I know Hal, at one point you were working on the script for issue number 2. Where is the process? Like, what's your guys's I guess targets going ahead? Like, when do you want to have all 4 issues sort of completed, if you will?
Sometime soon. What happened was Justin had a project kind of hit him out of the blue. He had this idea out of the it just landed in his melon. And we went ahead and we did an issue 1 like super fast, Justin? Like, I mean,
Like 24 hours?
Like we had it pretty well all done in that. Like, it's a really neat, you could tell more about the concept. But then after we did that concept of another project, Justin got an idea of doing a special edition of this other project as well. And Fred, that script's done as well. Like, he's got me doing really fast stuff. I don't know. It really bothers me because I'm a slow guy. Mind you,
I'm a scatterbrain, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so
It's
one of my problems is I'm fixated. Like, when I focus on one thing, that like this is where my mind's at, right? So we started this other book, and I was like, like I have this idea and it's based on this.
He swore.
Right in the swear jar.
Man, I'm telling your parents.
So I sat down and I wrote this script out from page, like, what was it, like 1 to 24, whatever, in 8 hours, and sent it over to Hal, and Hal was just like, "What the hell?" It's like, but it's an all ages book. It's so much dry humor, dad humor, a lot of dad humor.
Yeah, so can you elaborate a bit on that? Because I was telling Jamie before we got you on here, I said,
as a dad of 3 girls, the world needs more dad humor books, by the way. So
Yeah.
please proceed.
Like there's a giant cat man with a guy that turns into a human cockatoo superhero, and it's just like it's anyways, but it's just like a lot of different like, the cockatoo has the mentality of what a seagull would be in like a parking lot of a McDonald's sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, there's lots of different things in there. So we got that, and Hal just couldn't stop laughing when he read the script, and we found a young artist out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, who's never done anything like this before. And I mean, Ryan, I showed you some of the
Yeah.
stuff there yesterday, and you know,
It's great.
it's something. But then I was like, geez, you know what? Like, you know who would like this? I was like, who would really get a kick out of this kind of humor? So I sent a pitch off to Leroy and Leroy,
Oh,
Hey, here you
yeah.
go.
and loved it. They loved it. So then it was like, well, why don't we do a special one-shot script where you introduce Leroy and Leroy? It's like, I can do this. Like the humor just flowed. So I sat down, what was it, last weekend or the weekend before, Hal, and I wrote this out.
You did it over a weekend.
Yeah. And I sent it over to Hal, and now it's just like I'm ready to get issue 2. We've already got issue 1 done of this new book. We've got a special one shot of this new book, and I'm already getting ready. I'm gonna have, like, between Hal and I, we're gonna have this whole probably issue 2, 3, and 4 ready before issue 1's even done.
Oh my God, that's impressive.
So,
So,
when might we see these? Are these going to see the light of day soon? Like, are we going to see these on tables at cons? Will there be another?
I want
Kickstarter?
one.
Yeah, I want it.
So the artists, all the artists, the letterers, the colorists, they've all been given a strict deadline for issue 1, and that deadline is on pace to be met.
Wow.
So that book will be, for me to say that this book isn't even going to be ready for April.
Wow.
It could be done and printed in April, that quick. So it will be seen before con season picks up on the East Coast this year. It'll be at our first show.
Wow. So, I mean, I guess then, we all have jobs outside of everything else that, that what we do here and what you guys are doing. I mean, how are you guys able to time manage? Like, I mean, Hal, you've got you got a job, plus you're doing this, and you're working on another book with Andrew Clark, which I'm really excited about to see come out. And then, with Justin, you guys are doing this. And then, of course, Justin, you've got this little event coming up in August called Freddy Beach, FanFest. But, hey, how are you guys? What's that?
I'm not busy at all.
No, exactly. So, I mean, do you find this overwhelming, or is it just, like Sebastian was saying, it's fun because I love doing this stuff. I go home and I just start drawing. Hal?
I'm between jobs right now. I have a bad back and bad hips. I've lost a ton of weight, but I went and saw my doctor. I got to lose a ton more, literally a ton. Go figure. I'm going to see a specialist, and I think I'm going to get a steroid injection, which sounds like a lot of fun in my hip, and that might alleviate some pain. But I haven't worked for a while, so I do dishes. I'm a dish guy here. For Justin to work 5 days a week and then do a whole 22-page script in a weekend, it boggles my mind. I think he's an alien or something. He's a robot. I do want to say, though, that when Justin sent me that script, he didn't even have a title for it. I says, what is this crazy stuff? What's this crazy stuff you just sent me? He's like, I don't know, man. It just came into my head. I said, what's it called? He's like, I don't know. Well, he thought of the name a couple days later, but yeah, that was that quick. But yeah, I've got all kinds of free time. So
do you guys have a title yet?
Oh, he's got a title. Yes.
Oh yeah, well, we came up with the title together after a lot of back and forth trying to figure it out. But the name of the title is going to be Misfit Mercs.
Nice.
Yeah.
I am absolutely looking forward to it. I mean, sounds like we've got lots to look forward to from this crew. This so I'm it's very interesting to hear all of the collaboration, the people that are collaborating, because a lot of this collaboration almost seems to have started with that spark of that November Freddy Beach Fan Fest. It
Yeah.
just seems that really got the ball rolling. I know, and just personally, just having a con take place in our hometown, something Ryan and I have been, kind of secretly wishing for to save on gas every year. It ignited something for us too. So I just again I just want to relay my thanks to Justin and Hal in keeping this fun for us. I know it's we were talking about cause it's kind of the theme of things is you just pick it up and you do it because it's fun. It's not a work.
That's the thing that's come across and today is how much fun you guys have had
we've been
working
looking
on
forward
this.
to chatting with you guys
And,
for a long time
and the
now,
team that
so.
you have here. Justin, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you any tidbits coming up for Freddy Beach.
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
I can't. I'm not allowed.
Okay.
We're very strict. We have new partners on the show, like that are like actual partners that are helping with the show.
Okay.
One thing that I can tell people is that we are putting a focus on the 40th anniversary of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Which means a certain someone who did a wraparound cover recently that we saw for I think issue 150. So
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Can I just point if you're allowing Hal back for this one, can you keep him separated from certain individuals that may or may not be there? I'm just saying again, go back to our archives.
Absolutely not, because we are one big team.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to press along, if you go to our website, you can see different creators. Those aren't creators that are specific to us, but they are creators that we work with, that we want to help promote in different ways, so that they have their images, their bios and everything on our website, so that if they're applying for a con or something, it's just, hey, go check out this page, everything you need to know about me's here. And
awesome.
We'll constantly update it. But when GY6 Studios travels to a show, if any of the artists that are there, we are going to try to all have under the same umbrella if we can. And that's something that I've been working on very hard with the shows on the East Coast. Regina, Saskatchewan is coming up in September. And I'm in talks and working right now with the folks at Montreal Comic Con and
Winnipeg nice
Comic Con.
Wow.
And we're gonna have one or two surprise guests randomly appearing under the GY6 banners that show on the East Coast this year.
That's wicked. So yeah, folks, if you want to catch these guys, May 18th, Miracon in Miramichi, May 24th to the 26th, Capercon in Sydney, Nova Scotia, YCon in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, May 31st to June 2nd, and of course, East Coast Comic Expo in Moncton, New Brunswick, June 7th and 8th.
And you can support the Kickstarter until March 19th, was it?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it's something in around there.
Okay. Yep. I mean, lots of info on the Facebook page, GY6 Studios. You can check out those variant covers. Check out the artist's work as well. It's a who's who of local talent. So again, thank you for bringing that together. Man,
this has been awesome, guys.
So
we can't thank you enough.
Thanks for sharing all this. Thanks for showing some of this original art too.
Can I just say one more thing before I let
100%,
Hal take over? Before I let Hal take over for the next hour. One thing at shows, we are going to have a special, I guess it's a charitable donation, not donation, but we're going to have special prints based on Got Your Six at shows, and if you buy one of these prints, 100% of the donations is going to go to Wounded Warriors Canada.
Done. Put me down for one.
Awesome.
Definitely.
That was something Justin mentioned when we had the similar ideas. that was the first thing Justin said. Justice, we've got to get some of the money from this to go to Wounded Warriors. And I'm like, that's amazing.
And there would have been an option on the Kickstarter for a full thing to go to Wounded Warriors Canada, but part of Kickstarter's thing is I'm not allowed for charity and stuff like that. So any shows or after the fact, we're going to be doing this at any show we're at.
That's awesome.
That's great. That's another thing I love about what you're doing, Justin, is there's always somebody else that's going to benefit other than just the folks that are going and the folks that are there. Like in August, the NB Literacy folks were treated to some of that as well. And I love how this group shares with the community and gives folks that are not necessarily directly part of it something to chew on, so a reason to pay attention. So keep up that awesome work, and we're really happy to get a chance to talk to you folks. We feel really privileged. So get to that Kickstarter if you haven't already. Be sure to check out these East Coast shows if you're in if you're local. Go meet folks in person. And Justin, Hal, thanks so much for your time today. We're really grateful to get a chance to talk to you.
It was an honor, guys. I really appreciate it.
We will do it again.
I didn't swear once.
Well done. Well
done. And you wore clothes.
Yeah,
I did.
There was.
You want me to stand up?
No, that's all right.
Quite all right. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a discussion on wardrobe, wasn't there?
Yes, there was. Yeah.
Yeah, not about us coordinating shirts, but just wearing them in particular. I
And
think
we made it quite clear he's Justin's problem, not ours.
right. Yeah. So that.
And for some reason, I have pizza on my mind. I don't know why, but I really wanted pizza from Oromocto Pizza in Donaire.
Yeah, if you're Facebook friends with me, you should check it out. I posted something there to make you hungry, and I don't know why. If you're not Facebook friends with me, I don't know why. So again, folks, it's been Justin Steeves and Hal Hilden. We've been talking about GY6 Studios, their upcoming book. It's a 4-book run. Got Your Six. Again, it's a who's who of local talent. Be sure to check it out. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for listening if you're listening on the podcast, and thanks for watching.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.